DBSCG things.
What's up, you guys? My name is Tax, and welcome back to DBSCG Things, and today we're bringing another very exciting deck profile, guys. This is going to be a deck that I've seen wandering around my locals this week. This is Kefla. But before we get into the deck, guys, I do want to say, guys, if you want any custom mats and/or sleeves, absolutely check out Promats, guys. Best place to go get your custom card needs. Link is in the description as usual. And also on the screen now you can see that they are holding a monthly tournament via Discord at the second weekend of every single month with some great prizing here. You can come win some Promat mats, TCG Metal Legions, and also some booster boxes. So make sure if this is something you're interested in, use the links in the description below to go to this Discord and join it. With that being said, guys, if you guys enjoyed this deck or my content in general, remember to hit all those buttons for me, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss a video. And with that being said, guys, let's turn this around and dive in. Alrighty, you guys, and here we are at my locals this week, and man, I love seeing this guy bring this Kefla deck, man. It makes me so happy inside seeing this deck. Anyways, I want to show you guys his profile, man. He's been working on it. This is probably the second or third time I've seen a different iteration of this deck he's brought. So go ahead and tell me about your deck first, and then tell me about your matchups.
Yep. So, Kefla came out in the first expansion, or not first expansion set, Ultimate Box. Auto when she attacks a leader, you can pitch a U6 to draw 2, which is just a really good way to mill through your deck, get the cards you need.
That's a skill that cards nowadays have.
Yes.
That was ahead of his time.
Yeah. Awaken at 4 or less, you can untap 2 and flip her over. Other side, auto when she attacks, draw 1. And then activate main. Once per turn, you can discard a Universe 6 to give her or a Universe 6 battle card double strike for the turn, which was huge at the time. Great leader skill. Now, the interesting thing I did with this deck, red-blue. I saw this card come out. I noticed it was Universe 6. And I was like, you know, there might be... Well, you'll see later why I picked this. But the Vados... energy exhaust counterplay if you have multicolor energy. It forces your opponent to bottom deck a 15k or less that's being played, and then you play her. Auto, when she's played or comboed, you can untap an energy. 2+10, a little difficult, but that's with the untap. It's basically a 1+10. To go alongside the red-blue U6, we've got 4 of the Champa and Vados Destroyer and Angel. This came out in Draft Box 2, the Divine Multiverse. Energy Exhaust, permanent when putting it into your energy. You can warp a red and a blue card from your energy to negate its Energy Exhaust. And then it has an activate main, pay a red and a blue. You return it to your hand. You can get an extra card with an energy cost of 3 or more from your deck to your hand. Better for Invoker. It's mostly just for that energy exhaust and the fact that it is also a Universe 6. And then something I was trying out is I had this in here. The other Destroyer Angel from Draft Box 2. Blocker, Energy Exhaust, Invoker. Auto, as long as you have 3 or more energy, when a red or blue card is removed from your battle area by an opponent's skill, you can play it from your hand. You can't play more for the turn. Auto, if it's your opponent's... Auto, if it's your opponent's turn, when he plays a card at the end of the turn, place it at the bottom of its owner's deck from the battle area, then draw 1 card. So you get a drawback if it's placed in your opponent's... or if it's played during your opponent's turn. It has Invoker. It's mostly in here as just an extra little blocker in case my cards get removed.
Yeah, it's actually pretty solid. It's a free blocker.
It is.
And you get to draw one at the end of the turn. That's not bad.
Adding on to the red-blue, we've got Cooler, Tyrannical Assault. Everyone knows this. Double strike, a raffle red-blue for a red. Auto, when he's played, you make your opponent mill a card, and then neg 2 of their battle cards, ignoring barrier by 10. Neg 2 of their battle... 20k, double strike. Mostly in here for the double strike.
Yeah,
but...
they arrive for 1 double strike.
Yeah.
And the random mill, man, imagine hitting an SCR.
And then, of course, it wouldn't be a red-blue deck without at least some Beerus Divine Obliterator. He's a 0+10 super combo. Auto, if the card is red or blue during your opponent's turn, you combo with it to untap a red-blue multicolor. It's a red-blue deck. It's more energy in active mode, which is very helpful. And then to round off the super combos, the Tournament of Power, Union Attack, bo1, Magetta. As long as your life is at 5 or less and your leader card's a U6, you combo with him, draw a card, he gains 10k combo power. He was among the first of the 5 or less life super combos.
That's actually pretty solid.
Especially for the time. Now, the big reason I chose this leader, Saiyan Onslaught Kefla, came out a set after the Tournament of Power, Union Potara for 3 red on a Cauliflower and Kale, Deflect, which means you can't activate, or it can't be affected by counterplays, Dual Attack, Auto when she's played with Union Potara or attacks, you draw a card and she gains 5.
That's not once per turn either.
No, so the turn you play her with Union, you can get up to 3 draws with her, and she gains 15k. So this is a 40k attacker on its own. Give it double strike.
Wow, that's actually pretty powerful.
And that is the main finisher for the
You
deck.
are playing red-blue, so 3 energy, not too bad, being that you can untap some energy afterwards.
Yep. And then, of course, if we're playing a Kefla that requires Union Potara, we need the pieces. We've got the Skillless Cauliflower from Tournament of Power, which it's a 10k skillless. Dauntless Kale, one of the free blockers. As long as you have a Cauliflower in your battle or leader area, you can play her without paying her energy cost. I've got her at 4, that Cauliflower at 3, and then I originally did this mono red at one point way back when. With this being the only 1-drop Cauliflower, it wasn't that great. And then we got the blue stuff, and we got another 1-drop Cauliflower. SS2 Cauliflower Universe 6 combination. When you play her, you draw a card. Her activate main isn't relevant for this deck. You pay 2, put her under a blue Kale leader card from your hand, and you can't play non-Universe 6 battle cards with 35,000 power or less.
She enables the ramp for the, that Saiyan Showdown Kale deck.
Yeah. So that part isn't important, but she's a 1-drop draw.
And she's blue.
And she's blue. And then to go along with her, 3 of the 1-drop Kale ready to fuse. Top 5 for a blue Universe 6 card with energy cost of 3 or less, or a blue Unison card specified cost of 2. Activate main once per turn, pay a blue, look it up to 3 cards from the top of your deck, add up to 1 blue Cauliflower or Kefla from one into your hand, and place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. None of her skills are important. She's another target for Union Potara. Ideally, it's this Cauliflower and this Kale, or this Cauliflower and this Kale. This is more so as a backup and as an extra blue card for other purposes.
It also keeps your fusion targets even. 7/7 each right now.
Yep. And then, to go alongside, I'm playing Kales and Cauliflowers, the Radiant Saiyans. This is both Kale and Cauliflower, which is huge for the deck. And it's a 0/10, it's red-blue multicolor, works perfectly. Ultimate, permanent if it's removed from your battle area to move from the game instead. If your opponent has 2 or more energy and your leader card is red, blue, or shares a character name with this card, it gains double strike and crit. Auto, pay 2 at the end of the battle when I use it in a combo. I may play it from drop. If not, I can choose 4 of my opponent's battle cards, place them at the bottom of their owner's decks, and then remove her from the game. So this, at worst, is another card I can Potara with. At best, it's a double strike crit. And then if I put it under with Potara, it's no longer in the battle area. So once that gets removed, this goes to drop and could potentially be added back with other cards, which makes it a recyclable secret rare that can combo play. Now, I haven't taken advantage of that in this particular version, but yeah.
That's big brain stuff right there, man.
Yeah, that is huge. And then
Definitely Potara on top of that.
And then some of the more staple cards for After Image, counterattack, leader cards red. One of my cards gains 10, one of my opponent gains 40 for the battle. One of my opponent's battle cards loses 10 for the turn. And then you can Sparking 5, take a life instead of paying its energy cost. Pretty basic card, everyone knows it. I have that at 4. Hang on, I want to keep this here. I'm playing a blue deck. I've got 4 Senzu Bean. Pay 1 blue, activate battle. Give 1 of your cards +5 for the turn, then switch 2 of your energy to active mode. A Sister's Determination. Counterattack if your leader card is a Universe 6 card. You negate the attack, then you may discard a blue card. If you do, your opponent can only attack with battle or unison cards with 20,000 power or more once more for the turn. So it is a Universe 6 version of Violent Rays for its counterattack, but it hits both Unison and Battle cards at the caveat of letting them attack one more time with those cards. And then it has this nice Activate Battle, limit 1. If it's your opponent's turn, choose up to one of your cards and it gains plus 10,000 power for the battle. Then you can switch a mono blue energy to active mode.
That's not bad at all. So if you don't get to use it as a negate, you can also use it as a free 10k combo power once per turn.
Yep.
That's really solid.
And then to pair with the Beerus and Whis from a while ago, it's Invoker, Emperor's Death Beam.
This card's still good for 3.
Yes, activate main/battle once per turn.
It's still good for 3.
One of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and it gets minus 30,000 power for the turn. It only hits battle cards, but that removes...
That is actually pretty clutch, like you said, with that Beerus from earlier.
Yep. So they remove your Kefla. Cool. You can now activate Emperor's Death Beam for 1. I've only got it at 2. It was more of a... I was very iffy about including it, but I ended up deciding to. And then I've got 2 of the King Vegeta's Imposing Presence. If your lyric card is a mono red Saiyan card, you may choose the attacking battle card, ignoring barrier. It gets minus 10,000 power for the turn. Minus 10,000 power for the turn, and your opponent can't attack with cards for the turn unless they give the attacking card minus 5,000 power for the turn each time.
That's really good.
Can only activate it once per turn, and then he's got a permanent. If your life is at 3 or less, you can activate its counter skill from your hand by discarding another card instead.
That's pretty solid. So you got flood negates for big boards and small boards.
Yep, which was huge. That was a problem I was encountering for a while. I was going back and forth between these two, and I finally decided to include both to cover all my bases. And finally, I have 2 of the Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Son Goku Concentrated Destruction. Deflect, auto when he's played. You choose all of your opponent's battle cards with 20,000 power or less and KO them. Or you can pay 2 if your lyric card is red and you discard it from your hand. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, gets minus 25,000 power. He's a 3-drop 15k. He either nukes everything 20k or less, or negs something 25k, ignoring barrier.
That's really key to it, especially if you actually pay attention through the rest of the profile. You realize not many of his cards have just generic removal. So having a card like this is absolutely amazing. Just being able to just either pay 3 board wipe 20k or less, or just pay 2 and get rid of a barrier card, which is really important because barrier is a thing. And it's always been a hard thing to work around. Of course, you do have Emperor's Death Beam, but if you don't have Invoker alive, the 2 energy is, of course, less than 3.
Yep. And it's... Yeah, that was one of the issues that Red U6 has always had, is that it has a lot of aggression, but aside from the Dauntless Kale from earlier, it doesn't really have much defense.
Alrighty, guys, so that was the deck. You want to tell us about your matchups?
Yep, my first matchup was against Red Gogeta BR, Mono Red Gogeta BR, the extra card leader, the newest one.
From set 11.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a slow start for him, and I ended up seeing my Caulifla, my Kale. I went to Kefla turn 3, and that stuck to the board the whole game. So
you didn't get a Gogeta out to wipe it?
Nope.
Wow.
Now, he did have Flood Negates, so I didn't end up getting as much draw potential as I could have. But once it came down to my final turn, I had that on board, I got Radiant Saiyans out, and it was just a bunch of huge attacks. Round 2 was Gogeta Xeno. I did get my Kefla out on turn 3 again, but it's Gogeta Xeno. He had ways of dealing with it.
And the wording? Goodbye.
Yep. So that ended up being an unfortunate loss. I won my first round, lost my second one, and then round 3 was...
really quickly, which was unfortunately, because I did try to record this match. I went out of my way to pull this deck aside and get it on camera, because it's been like a month I've seen you working on this deck, and I've been right behind you, rooting you on, because I'm really excited. I would like to see the progression on your deck build. So I really tried to get it on camera. Unfortunately, some technical difficulties happened, and it kind of died out about 8 minutes into the match, and it was only turn 3 or something. They had another like 3 turns or something that was like in between the cut, so I couldn't like just jump back into the recording. So I will apologize on not being able to get that battle out to you guys. But anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, it was a very slow battle. I was going up against the reboot cell leader. Pretty typical stuff. It was reboot cell, so I wasn't able to play my 1-drops early on to set up for just dropping the Kefla turn 3. And then once I finally was able to drop the Kefla, he counterplayed with Frieza. And it's not affected by the counterplay. All Frieza's counterplay does is play the card. His auto KOs it. So there goes that Kefla, and I just didn't have much luck aggressing
Green
him.
naturally is just a rough matchup because they can work around your deflect boss monster.
It is, and if they take out my card, this doesn't have barrier. So if they haven't Frieza during their turn, this just dies instantly anyways. And since this is effectively a limit 1 auto to play it, that becomes useless as well.
Gotcha.
So some rough matchups. It still needs some refining, but I think it's got a lot of potential. It's
I was watching the games. I've seen some of the plays. That Kefla card is still a very cool card, a very useful boss monster for the deck. So I will definitely be here along your side, getting as many deck profiles and updates as I can on this deck, just because it's so interesting to me. But that being said, do you have any final shoutouts?
Just to you guys, thank you to you. Thank you for being here and allowing us to put these ideas out and encouraging us along the way as we come up with stupid shit like this.
No, absolutely. Is that it?
That's it.
Alrighty. With that being said, guys, that was his deck profile and his matchups. If you guys enjoyed this deck, remember to hit all those buttons for me, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss a video. And with that being said, we'll see you guys next week.